Hello guys, welcome back. So now here in this session, we'll talk about a topic called terms of payment. So what is this terms of payment? First of all, and then we'll see the configuration part. Okay. So when we talk about now we are in account payable. Account payable. So account payable means here we talk about all the transactions which is related to a vendor. So vendor means purchases are taking place, right? When we talk about the purchase, when we talk about the purchases, so it is called like, see, purchase means what? Transactions are taking place. Tata Motor is buying certain raw materials or items from supplier. Supplier is nothing but vendor. So now here what is happening? Purchase means it's a kind of transaction that it must be recorded here into SAP. Now, so whatever these purchases are there, that is called B2B. Okay, purchase. B2B purchase means it is called B2B stand for business to business. When you talk about Tata Motor, this is one entity. And when you talk about like ABC Limited, this is another entity. This is also one organization. This is also one organization. It means now here Tata Motor is buying certain items from ABC Limited. So Tata Motor is an organization, ABC Limited is an organization. So this is called business to business purchase, right? B2B means business to business. When we talk about B2B purchases, guys, B2B purchase, so it is happening on credit basis. Okay. See, two purchases are there. Purchases in the sense like when you go and buy something from market, let's suppose one is like cash payment and credit basis means you have bought the goods right now, item right now, and you are going to pay later. Right? So that is credit transactions, and cash transactions means even credit card is also the classic example, like you have bought the laptop or anything right now and you are paying later, in the sense certain EMI wise or else like amount you guys have paid through credit card. Once the salary come, you are going to what to say this one, so you are going to make the payment, you are going to settle the payment of your credit card. Now here, so credit basis the things are taking place. And so if you talk about organizations to organizations, always like credit transactions are more, cash transactions are very less. And cash transactions are very less in the sense like small transactions are taking place on cash basis, remaining all the transactions are taking place on credit basis only. So here what is happening, guys, if the transactions are taking place on credit basis, if we talk about like purchase means it is also called procurement, right? Procurement. So procurement means what is happening, guys? It means purchases. So this is called a P2P process is going to be followed. P2P process is going to be followed, where like first of all a PO will be created, then vendor is going to deliver the goods, that is called goods receipt, and once the goods are going to be received by organizations, then vendor is going to send the invoices, and then finally what is happening? Payment. Okay, first of all goods are received by, first of all goods are sent by vendor, they'll wait like to once the delivery has reached, and once like, because first of all they will wait like, let's suppose if everything consignment has reached over there safely, apart from this they're waiting that if like let's suppose vendor has delivered the goods and all, they will be waiting like if they are going to return any item because of any issues and all. So once they, if organizations have returned like 20%, 30%, then they're going to send the final invoice, right? So whatever. Now here the process is like PO, goods receipt, invoice receipt, and payment. So here what is happening, guys? If invoice is posted on, say for example, this date, right? So there will be a negotiation, in the sense there will be a general term and agreement will be there with between like these two party, that payment will be made in 30 days. Payment will be made in 60 days or 45 days, right? So these are called terms of payment, that whenever we receive the goods from there, you have to wait for 30 days for our payment, right? So these are called terms of payment. Purchases has taken place today, but the payments are going to be, payment will be made after 30 days, after 45 days, after 60 days, right? So what happened, this terms of payment will be negotiated initially itself, whenever like Tata Motor is going to have, like Tata Motor, every organizations will be having a purchase department. So what happened, guys, this purchase department, always they are responsible to discuss with vendor all whatever the general conditions are there, terms and conditions are there, they will discuss with the vendor. In that, this terms of payment also will be there, that okay, we are going to, like let's suppose a vendor means their supplier, so they will discuss that okay, we will place the order with you and these are the terms of payment. If you receive the goods from there, you have to wait for 30 days or 45 days or 60 days, right? So this is a simple and normal terms of payment, guys. Even in that, like installment payment terms also will appear, terms of payment with discount also will be there, guys, right? Multiple things will be there, we'll talk about that one by one. So these are terms of payment. It means like in organizations, the procurement is taking place right now, purchases are taking place right now, but the payment will be made after 30 days, after 60 days. Now here, so these terms of payment we have to configure, right? Terms of payment we have to configure. Now there is certain benefit, certain benefit. What benefit, guys? Let's suppose we have posted, let's suppose here we have posted an invoice on this date, and if terms of payment says that 30 days, it means payment must be made after, exactly after 30 days. So this invoice number one, right? So now if you talk about due date, right? What is the due date here? What is the due date, guys? Anyone?
30th June.
30th June. So if you add 30 days here, it is going to be 1st of July actually. Okay. If you add 30 days here, then it is going to be, the due date is going to be 1st of July. If any month is having 30 days, then what is happening? 31st of that particular month will be the due date. It means 30 days we have to wait, right? So when this invoice is going to be due, in the sense like eligible for payment, so 1st of July, of course, it is going to be. So now whether whatever, like, so this due date, how to calculate the due date? Are we going to calculate this due date manually? If we have to, like, let's suppose if we are having 10 invoices or 5 invoices, now we have, for the same vendor, we have another invoice, like let's suppose it is on 15th of May, it was posted, So this is also 30 days only, right? So 15th means June is having 30 days, na? And May is having 31 days, it means. So now here it is going to be due on 14th of June, right? Now, so if any invoice is posted on like 25th of this date, again 30 days, so it is going to be due on 24th of June 2023. Simple calculations are there, guys, right? 10th of, so this is going to be 10th of July. The reason behind is May month is having 31 days, right? And here this is having 30 days only. June month is having 30 days only. That is why this calculations are happening, right? Not able to join. What is this, guys? Not able. I don't know why it's happening. Oh my god, this is like, but it is asking to admit all. I don't need to admit, right? Automatically, look at here. I didn't do anything. Automatically, I don't know why sometime it happens. I'll just, because here if I click now, it means automatically it should allow everybody. Anyway, so now here, okay. So now, so look at here. So terms of payment. So here what is happening? Due date calculation. So if we have like, let's suppose 10 invoices against a vendor. Now what happened if we have to make payment? Then how we will come to know which invoices are going to be due and overdue. So whatever invoices become due or overdue, right? Let's suppose if you talk about this invoice, is it due or not due?
Due, sir.
How come it due?
See, it's exceeded the number of days actually.
What we did?
It's exceeded the invoice date.
Alright, dear.
Like
So
what we
invoice
mentioned.
means invoice was posted on 1st of June and
Correct.
terms of payment 30 days. It means we have an agreement with the vendor that okay, once I post the invoice, once I receive like whatever invoice is there, this is posted on 1st. So now you have to wait till 30 days. So clearly I have specified if invoice we have received on 1st, so that is going to be posted on 1st, and from there 30 days will be counted. So due date is 1st of June, sorry, 1st of July. And what is the date today? I think it is 19th. So still it is not due. It will be due on which date? 1st July, and it is going to be treated as a overdue from 2nd of July onwards, right? What about this one? Is it due or not due? Anybody? Same logic is applicable, guys.
It's due, sir.
It's due. How it is due?
क्योंकि सर ये 15 मई को सर पोस्ट हो रहा है, इनवॉइस पोस्ट कर रहे हैं हम, और 14/6 को तो 30 डेज का जो वैलिडिटी है उसके अंडर है ये।
अच्छा, बिल्कुल। आपकी आवाज़ जो है पूरा एकदम आपके ब्रदर से मैच करती है। जब भी आप बोलते हैं मुझे लगता है कि सूरज ही बोल रहे हैं। चलिए, सो नाउ whatever is said is like correct, but this is not due actually. We can say it is overdue, right? It is overdue. Overdue means it was due on 14th itself. We were supposed to make payment on 14th, right? But now what is happening? It is 19th, so we have already crossed the due date. and that is why it is called overdue, isn't it? Now here what is happening? 24th of June. So what is happening, guys? This is due or not due or overdue? What? Quickly, you guys should answer, right? Or else at least even you guys here we are having this chat box, right? In chat box also you can write something. This is how I'll come to know that you guys are able to understand. So this is like it is going to be due on which date? 24th of June. And what is the date here? 19th. So it is not due, right? Because 24th will come in future. It's not now. And this is 10th July, not due, right? So this is how. Let's suppose if we have like I posted one invoice on 28th of, let's suppose, May 2023. Again 30 days it will be due. After 30 days, so 19th. So guys, this is called due. Why? Because this invoice become due today, and again tomorrow it is going to be 28th. So in if you talk in terms of like if you see on 28th, this invoice will be treated as overdue because the payment in the sense due date was 19th. It means we were supposed to make payment on 19th and we have already crossed the due date, so it become overdue, isn't it? Overdue by a margin of 1 day. Here this is overdue by a margin of 9 days, right? There is, sorry, not 9 days. How many days? 5 days, no? 5 days. Because it is 19th here. It was due on 14th. We were supposed to make payment on 14th, but it is 19th. So 5 days extra we have taken. Still the payments are not made. Okay, so now here this due date calculations, here we are doing manually how much time it is taking place. What about the vendors? Like let's suppose if Tata Motor is having 5,000 vendors, 10,000 vendors, 6,000 vendors, or 2,000 vendor. So if we have to calculate manually, then how much time it is going to take, guys? It will take too much time. If you have to calculate this due date manually, it's going to like it is going to take too much time. The reason behind is every invoice, so daily basis, how many invoices are posted, guys, in Tata Motor? Daily basis, thousands of invoices are posted in Tata Motor. So for every invoice, if we have to calculate this due date manually, it's very like you can say like a difficult task. So that is why SAP is saying that no need to worry about this due date calculations. You create a terms of payment. You create a terms of payment, and what is happening? This terms of payment automatically. This terms of payment is going to calculate the due date automatically. How? That we have to see.
The last one is not due.
Last one is
No, is not due. It is not due
this is not due. Why it is not due? Okay,
because
this
it
one,
is
this is not dear. This is like you count here 30 days. So that is the typing mistake actually, right?
now it is due.
So now it is due because I said like 28th of May, right? 30 days. So here generally what is happening? So 19th of July, it was typing mistake, even if we count this 30 days and all. So that happens. Now I'll tell you guys. So this is how. So here, arey yaar, not this is what the problem if you guys are joining here. Again, not able to join. once I click on this screen, then only people are able to join. I don't know what is happening. Chalo. So again, now, so let's have a look the configuration part here. So how to configure this terms of payment? Configurations are very simple, guys. And here, if you talk about terms of payment, what is the use of terms of payment? Look at here, terms of payments are conditions agreed between customer and vendor. So who is the customer, guys? Tata Motor is the customer here, and vendor means the supplier from where the goods are going to be bought, right? From where the goods are, in the sense the raw materials are bought. Now here, the condition define the due date and cash discount offered for payment of invoice within certain period. Now, how this is happening, guys? Now we'll see practically. Already I have explained theoretically here. And second thing is like terms of payment enable the system to calculate invoice due date and cash discount also. First of all, what we have to see? First of all, we have to see the invoice due date, cash discount also. I'll we'll see, but not now. Okay, we'll see in the sense like I have to give another session also on this. Certain different kind of terms of payments are there, that also I have to explain. So we'll do one thing. Let me log in here. Okay, now here, so if you have to create terms of payment, what is the transaction code, guys? It is OBB8. That is the T code, I think. Let me check. Yes, OBB8. Now here, what happened? I'll just do one thing. There'll be these are my terms of payment only, which is created by me. I'll just okay. Now let me save it. So now I'll create terms of payment. No need to delete this one. I have deleted and all because I have created this, right? So whenever you delete, guys, any settings, make sure that this is your settings only. Don't delete other settings and all. Now, so here terms of payment, any code can be given. Any, when you define a terms of payment, guys, any code can be given. Okay. Now here, click on new entry. So first of all, okay, here multiple things are there. There is use of each and every fields, guys. There are certain control, okay, that you have to know. But first of all, you give a code here. So 30 days payment terms, guys, you can give. I'm giving here TM30. You can give AB30, AM30, 30 TM, right? Or whatever, like whichever code you want to give. Okay, or else like you can give here 30 days. So you can give a code like 30 days, right? So anything, I'll give here TM30. This is my favorite code, that is why I'm giving here TM30, right? Okay, so this is the code of this payment terms. Now then, account type. Look at here, by default the customer and vendor accounts are selected. By default the customers and vendor accounts are selected. It means these terms of payment can be used for customer also and vendor related transactions also. Now I'll tell you, whatever the conditions are applicable for vendor, the same thing is applicable on customer also. Okay, because customer is also one business, guys, one business entity. So if the customers are going to buy product from Tata Motor, they also expect the credit. They are also going to that sales are also taking place on credit basis only. That we'll discuss once I start account receivable. Okay, so one terms of payment can be used for customer and vendor both. If you remove a check mark here, it means this terms of payment will be used by vendor only, not by customers. This is what the difference is. Now here, so keep it for both. And generally, whenever we create, we keep this check mark for both. Now, then let's suppose, so here I said like invoices are going to be due in 30 days. So here we are having a field called number of days. So you have to give 30 days here, here, and when you have given 30 days, look at here, one field is called this explanation field. There is no impact here. This explanations means what happened, guys, it will be changed automatically when you enter any input here, and when you press enter, look at here, the field got changed within 30 days due date. It means invoice is going to be due in 30 days only. Okay, within 30 days due date means invoice is going to be due in 30 days. Now, simple terms of payment I am creating. Okay, no need to go for these things and all. Everything will be explained, guys, one by one. So first of all, we have given a terms of payment code. By default, this settings I am going to keep as it is. Number of days, invoice are going to be due in 30 days, so I have given 30 days here. If it is 45 days, you can give 45 days here. If it is 90 days, you can give 90 days here. Right? Now, the next one is very important thing is called baseline date. If anybody has to ask any questions from terms of payment or payment terms, the first question can be, what do you mean by baseline date? What do you mean by baseline date? Now, right now it is no default, okay, but you have three options: posting date, entry date, and document date. We have to select any one out of these three: posting date, document date, and entry date. So what is the difference, guys? Is there anyone who can say the difference between posting date, document date, and see, when we post the invoice, now let me do one thing, open one more screen here. When you post an invoice, go to FB60. So first of all, we have here invoice date and posting date. See, guys, this invoice date is also called document date. If you go to FB50, here we have document date. The same document date is here appearing in the form of invoice date. Right? Earlier, if you talk about like, see, if you talk about the previous version of SAP, right? So in those versions, it was like document date itself. Later on, they added here invoice date. Okay, earlier it was in older version it was document date only. We were habituated to see this document date only. I think till EHP 6, I think it was document date only, maybe till EHP 5 or EHP 6 it was document date. Later on, they have changed the name of the field. Okay, so but it is also, so this is called document date only. Here invoice date is written, but it is document date. So what they have done, they have changed the name here, right? But they have not changed the name here. They were supposed to change here also, but they haven't changed here. They are keeping document date itself. So document date, which one guys? This invoice date is also called document date. Okay. Now, so first of all, what is the use of baseline date? Okay, baseline date, or you can say base date. Now, I'll tell you. So first of all, try to understand what is this document date, posting date, and entry date. Document date, posting date, and entry date. Let's suppose an invoice. Let's suppose there is an invoice, okay, and that invoice was printed on a particular date. Okay, that invoice was like, let's suppose, printed on, say for example, 15th 06 on this date. Okay, it was printed on 15th. So now what is happening guys? Whatever the date which is mentioned on the invoice, that is called invoice date. So 15th is supposed to be the invoice date. When we post the invoice, there will be a date which is specified on the invoice. Invoice was printed on 15th, so invoice date is 15th. It means that invoice was generated on which date? 15th of June. Now what happened guys? 15th, 14th, whatever it is, 13th, whatever it is. Now let's suppose I'll give 14th. 14th. Now what happened guys? Posting date. So this invoice was couriered by vendor. Okay. Now some vendors are going to send the hard copy, some vendors are going to send the soft copy. Certain vendors, what is happening guys? They will be like, they'll be having their own this courier services and all. They'll be particularly they are going to send to the organizations and all. Let's suppose few vendors are very nearby the companies and all, maybe some 100 kilometer, 200 kilometer distance, or whatever it is. So invoice is, let's suppose, received on 18th. Invoice was posted on 14th, right? An invoice was received on 18th. So what is happening guys? The invoice must be posted on 18th only, right? So this is called posting date. The invoice must be posted on 18th, isn't it? Transaction must be taking place. Transaction must be posted whenever it is taking place. We have received the invoice on 18th. It must be posted on 18th. Why? Because vendor know very well na, this invoice is delivered on 18th. So they will count their invoice due date from 18th itself, because now they said like, we have delivered the invoice on 18th. It's your headache whenever you are going to post, but we will count our 30 days from 18th itself. So invoice must be posted on the date of 18th. Okay, and this is counted as a posting date. So till here there is no any doubt. Invoice we have received on invoice is printed on 14th. So that is the date which is there on invoice. So this is called invoice date. An invoice was received in Tata Motor on 18th. It must be posted on 18th, right? This is called posting date. But unfortunately, let's suppose this invoice is given to a particular user in Tata Motor. Okay, this invoice is given to particular user that you have to post this invoice, and that user, like let's suppose, has received this invoice at 5 o'clock evening, that now you have to post this invoice. He thought you just do one thing, we'll leave it. Okay, what happened, guys? Again somebody has joined or what? Okay, so what happened, he thought like, okay, who will post this 5 p.m. We'll do one thing. Now we'll do one thing. So I'll keep this invoice today, and tomorrow once I come back to office, I'll post it. So tomorrow, which date is, guys? Tomorrow become 19th. Okay, tomorrow become 19th, or else like I'll keep here 19th itself, and here, so it is posted on 19th, but tomorrow he thought like, okay, I'll post it tomorrow. So tomorrow become 19th, tomorrow become 28th, right? Tomorrow become 28th. So now here what is happening, guys? This invoice is going to be, guys, I'll just do one thing. Let me close this WhatsApp because it is creating certain noise. Okay, guys, tomorrow become here 20th, right? Tomorrow become 20th. So now what is happening? This guy is going to post the invoice on which date? He thought like, tomorrow once I come back, then I'll post it. So tomorrow is 20th. But when he is going to post the invoice, he know very well that this invoice we have received on 19th. So vendor is going to count the due date on 19th itself, from 19th itself. But tomorrow once he come back, he will be giving the posting date 19th itself. That guy is going to give the posting date 19th itself. But what is the actual date? The actual date on which the invoice is getting posted? Invoice is getting posted on 28th. So even though he has given posting date as a 19th, but system will consider this 28th as an entry date. It means even though posting date he has given 19th, but on which date this invoice is entered? On 28th. So by default, in background, SAP will update entry date the current date only. So these are three dates: document date, the date which is there on invoice; posting date means actually whichever date they have received the invoice, right? And entry date means whatever the actual posting is taking, on whichever date the actual posting is taking place. Invoice is received on 19th, it was supposed to be posted on 19th, but what is happening, guys? It was not posted on 19th due to any reason. Now the user is going to post the invoice on 28th, but posting date he is going to give 19th itself. So 19th is the posting date, but actual entry is taking place on 28th. So by default system is, so here background, what is happening in background, SAP is going to update entry date. See, you can change the document date, you can change the posting date, entry date cannot be modified. We cannot manipulate the entry date. It is not in our hand. It is updated by system automatically. Okay. Now, so this is what the document date, posting date, and entry date. Now, the second thing is, what is this baseline date? So baseline date means, I'll tell you, there is an amount 1000. Okay, and let's suppose a tax 10% will be calculated on this amount. So what is the 10% of 1000, guys? It is 100. So now here the thing is 10% calculated of which amount? Of this 1000 amount, right? So for this 10% calculation, the 100 got calculated on which amount? This 1000. So this is called base amount. This is called base amount. Base amount means on which amount this 100 got calculated on this 1000. So this is called base amount. Okay, now this is our base amount. Likewise, when I say that terms of payment is 30 days, now look at here guys, we have we have 3 dates here: document date, posting date, and entry date. So if we talk about 30 days calculations, what is the base for 30 days calculation? 30 days from which date? Document date or posting date or entry date? Because your document date is different, posting date is different, and entry date is different. So here SAP is confused. SAP don't know from which date 30 days will be calculated, right? So you have to specify guys from which date is going to be selected, from which system will calculate 30 days, whether it is posting date or document date or entry date. You can select any one, but I prefer to select this posting date. And most likely when you talk about the initially when you configure these terms of payment and all, before that, when the negotiations happen with the client, that okay, this 30 days will be calculated from which date, invoice date or posting date, most likely both party will agreed on these two terms only. Entry date, it is given by SAP, but very rarely it is going to be used. I haven't seen, but maybe this option is given by SAP. It means, of course, 1% of cases or maybe 0.1% of the cases it must be used somewhere, but mostly document date and posting dates are going to be used for this baseline date. As a baseline date means 30 days calculations on which date? Document date is 14th and posting date is 19th. So 30 days is going to be calculated on from which date guys? If it is 14th, then a different due date will be there. If it is 19th, then different due date will be there. So we have to select here. This is what the logic of baseline date. If anybody asks what do you mean by baseline date, simply you have to say that baseline date, actually baseline, with the help of baseline date itself a due date will be calculated. Pretty clear guys? With the with the help of baseline date, what happened? Due dates are going to be calculated. So baseline date will be either document date, posting date, entry date, whichever anyone can be. I have selected here posting date. Save it, Control S. So my terms of payment is created. Okay. Now what is happening? So when you create this payment terms, you have to assign the payment terms to the vendor master. Payment terms created. Go to XK02 and assign this payment terms to the vendor master. What is my vendor master number here? Let me check it. So company code TM08. Now this is the number, and here payment terms we enter here under payment transactions here. So you select this one and press enter. So directly we can come here. Look at here guys, right now payment terms I have given 0001. Now I'll give TM30 which I have created, so that invoice is going to be due exactly after 30 days. Just save it, Control S. Okay, so when you assign the payment terms here, what is happening guys? At the time of invoice posting, automatically when the invoice is getting posted guys, invoice will be, so when the invoice is posted, what happened guys? Invoice is posted against a particular vendor. So from vendor master system, by default what is happening guys? System picks that payment terms. SAP system picks the payment terms by default. You look at here, go to FB60. 934. So here 934 and 1906, let's suppose. Okay, what I'll do, invoice date I'll give a different date. Let's suppose 15th 06. This is the invoice date which is there on invoice, and posting date 1906. Okay, nowadays what is happening, guys, most likely invoice date and posting date, very slight differences will be there, very slight differences, in the sense maybe 1 day difference or 2 days differences, because invoice are getting printed by vendor, and within a day or two they are going to send it to the Tata Motors. Soft copy they'll send, right? Or maybe on same day also it is going to be sent, isn't it? So there most likely there won't be any differences also. Now, so here 15th and 19th have given. Okay, you can give one amount. Let's suppose give your end ZL itself, it's okay, and give 1000. And now you click on payment tab. If you click on payment tab, company code TM08, number range 19 is missing for the year 2023. What is the solution, guys?
You have to go to document tab and reassign the number range to
We have to assign the
reassign the number range that we have defined for our document.
Okay, so look at here the document type KR. For KR document type somebody has given. Now go to OB A7. For KR document type, definitely somebody has added number in 18. For KR document type, number range 19 is given, so you just do one thing. Give number range 01, because I have created 01. So give your 01, press enter. Now, once again come back here and use FB60 transaction code, guys. Give your vendor number, the date, and here what is happening here? I already okay. Joining yesterday. I thought like okay. So now here give the amount, and here and click on payment once again. So if you click, look at here, guys, by default TM30 is determined by SAP system. From where? From vendor master, because we post the invoices against vendor only. So if you have given vendor master number here, from vendor master what happened, guys, the payment term is triggered automatically. I have given this TM30 against vendor master. From vendor master what is happening? SAP has triggered this payment terms automatically. So your TM30, what is the setting for TM30? That it must be due, invoice must be due in 30 days. Now look at here, baseline date is 19th/06/2023. Why baseline date is 1906, guys? Because 19th itself, posting date itself is selected here. We have selected posting date as a baseline date. So even though you have like two different days, invoice date and posting date, now so SAP has selected this 19th/06 posting date as a baseline date. Now in posting date, in baseline date, what is happening? Add 30 days, so it is going to be due on, okay, now it will be due on 19th of July. The invoice will be due on 19th of July. So pretty simple, guys. 19th of June is the baseline date, in the sense posting date is 19th of June. In that if you add 30 days, By default SAP has calculated this due date. So this is what the benefit, no need to calculate this due date manually. And I'll tell you guys, see, with some vendor, Tata Motor is having negotiations to make the payment in 30 days. There are multiple vendors for payment supposed to be made in 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, 20 days. Different several payment terms will be like agreed between Tata Motor and vendor. So it is impossible to remember by the employee. So our work become easy. Simply we'll define a payment terms, and that is going to be assigned, and that will be assigned here in vendor master. Then what happened? No need to remember that what payment terms is agreed between this vendor and Tata Motor, right? So this is what the benefit here, guys. Terms of payment I have created and assigned to the vendor master. While posting the invoices, system automatically has triggered the payment terms. Now what happened? If you look at here, simulate and save it once, Control S, save it once. Look at here, it is posted. If you go to FBL1N, now this is the vendor, execute here. Now look at here, guys, I am having single line item and it is open, but look at here the symbol, it is if you keep your cursor here, it shows not due. Keep your cursor here on this symbol, it shows not due. Okay, and what about the due date? It will be due after 30 days. You can change here the layout. Okay, look at here, so net due date is already coming, right? It's coming here, net due date is coming here, 19th of 7. By default system has calculated net due date, guys, based on the payment terms. So this is all about the payment terms, configurations and logic. I have to explain some more scenario here in payment terms, right, so that you guys will be having perfect idea and an understanding about this payment terms, because when somebody has to ask the questions from payment terms, this is the basic which everybody knows, entire world know. How you guys are going to be different from other candidates and all. So yes, in payment terms itself, if somebody has to ask the questions, they'll ask the questions, a different kind of payment terms they'll ask. What they'll ask, that we are going to see in next session. Okay, so that's all in this session, guys.